Coming up, the Mariners move on, how the team's playoff run continues to make history.
And hear about Indigenous Peoples Day right here on campus today on Murrow News 8.
West Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Albert James.
And I'm Alex McCollum. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The Seattle Mariners took Toronto by storm over the weekend, sweeping the Blue Jays out of the playoffs in a high-scoring, historic comeback finale. The Mariners were down 7 runs at the top of the 6th when a wild pitch and a 3-run home run by Carlos Santana cut the deficit down to 3. In the 8th inning, 2 Blue Jay defenders ran into each other on a fly ball while 3 Mariners rounded home to tie up the game. Adam Frazier batted in the game-winning score at the top of the 9th, and the Mariners never looked back.
It's tough to come back. It's tough to come back in the playoffs against that team in this building. We were up against it, but credit to our players. We don't quit. We haven't quit all year. There's a certain resolve that our group has. They just believe in each other. And
this win marks just the 3rd time in MLB history that a team has come back from a 7-run deficit in the playoffs.
And in Whitman County news, a 3-car accident on State Route 26 left 3 people injured Friday afternoon. According to Pullman Radio, 18-year-old WSU student Caitlin Harris attempted to pass a vehicle westbound near La Crosse when she struck 2 oncoming cars. Harris and her passenger, 18-year-old Shania Roberts, suffered injuries and were taken to Whitman Hospital in Colfax. 90-year-old Joyce Kibitza was one of the oncoming drivers struck. She was eventually flown to Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane. According to the article, Washington State troopers say Harris was trying to make a bad pass, which caused the accident.
Over in Moscow, 4 people are recovering after a deck collapsed at a fraternity. According to Pullman Radio News, firefighters responded to a call at the Phi Kappa Tau house around 11:30 Saturday night. 4 people were transported to Gritman Medical Center. We have no word on their current conditions. Authorities are currently looking into what led up to the collapse.
Campus organizations are hosting events throughout the week in celebration of Mental Illness Awareness Week. ASWSU started by handing out donuts in the Compton Union building today, but there's more. Take a look at your screen here. According to their Instagram post, ASWSU is hosting a plant workshop tomorrow from 5:30 to 7 p.m. The Student Rec Center is also hosting a hybrid yoga class from 4 to 4:50 on Wednesday. You have to fill out a waiver and register for that class. And guest speaker and mental health counselor Charisse de Guzman will be speaking from 4 to 5 p.m. Thursday in Todd Hall, room 216. More events can be found on the ASWSU Instagram.
A Latah man is dead after crashing into a semi-truck Saturday night. According to the Washington State Patrol, the crash happened on State Route 27 in the town of Fairfield. That's just a half-hour southeast of Spokane. Troopers say 27-year-old Anthony Silva was speeding when he crashed into a truck turning onto the highway. They say Silva was not wearing a seatbelt at the time and was possibly driving impaired. Back here at home, with today being Indigenous Peoples Day, members of WSU's tribal communities have a variety of events to recognize the occasion. Murrow News 8's Daniela Julio Cano has more.
To celebrate the federal holiday, members of the Nez Perce tribe and other tribes are out on the mall today to educate students on what this day means. Out on the mall, there was trivia, stickers, and quizzes about Indigenous people and their land, as well as a fundraiser supporting the Native American student organization's powwow coming up this year. Tommy Williams, a member of the Nez Perce tribe and a retention specialist at the Native American Student Center, was excited to educate the public on the importance of this day.
We want to be able to promote that proper education about that we weren't discovered, we are already here, this is our homeland. So it's important for educators and students alike to understand that appropriation of our history.
Celebrations for the day end here at the Cultural Center, where there'll be a keynote presentation on the importance of sweetgrass in the Cree culture. The event ends at 6. Reporting from the South Side, Daniela Julio Cano, Murrow News 8.
Coming up, it's getting close to winter sports season. We'll tell you how the men's basketball team is doing after a rocky offseason.
And Aaron Monson has your weather coming up next on Murrow News 8.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
According to WSU Insider, starting today, WSU students have 24/7 access to Protocol Plus, a suite of mobile health mental health services. Students can utilize WellTrack Boost, an app with self-guided therapy and resources for managing depression and anxiety. This service is also available online. Students across all campuses have access to the Protocol Plus Crisis Support Hotline, and students can also use WellTrack's Shrink Space to connect with off-campus mental health providers who can meet their specific needs. A full list and description of services is available at studentcare.wsu.edu/mentalhealth.
Fall just started, but that means winter is just around the corner, and with it comes winter sports. The WSU basketball team had a concerning offseason, but it turned out to make a better team. Murrow News 8's DJ Rodman has the story.
Wazoo men's basketball is coming off one of their best seasons in the past decade, going to the NIT tournament and making it to the semifinals. With the departure of many players to the transfer portal, the team has a lot of new faces from new places. A large chunk of them being freshmen from all over the world, and a few transfers from across the country. But one player that has chose to stay is Mohamed Gay, a sophomore who surpassed all expectations as a freshman. He played a pivotal part in WSU's run to the NIT semifinals and tells us a little bit about what it is like to lose so many teammates from last year.
It's going to be weird to don't have your ex-teammate like Mike, Ty, F.A. You know, they was like the brothers. But we got some new teammates. They good, they fun. I think we're going to have a great year this year.
With optimism, the Cougs go into the season as underdogs in a loaded Pac-12 conference. Being so young and inexperienced is usually a fault in college basketball, but nothing beats a real team, and that is what the Cougs are brewing in the gym and locker room. It's going to be another great year for Cougs basketball, and their first game is at home on November 7th. So bring your popcorn and be ready to see some more buckets like that this winter. I'm DJ Rodman with Murrow News 8.
And with winter sports right around the corner, hopefully that doesn't mean too much cold weather to come.
You know, I have to disagree. I am looking forward to some chilly weather, but Aaron, it feels like it's never going to get cold anytime soon.
Well, it has been feeling like that a lot lately. You get being in the 70s and 80s pretty consistently in October, which makes zero sense. Tomorrow we're actually going to see a low of 39, which is going to be really nice because that's the first time we've seen a 39-degree weather day in, God knows how long it feels like over here on the Palouse, but all semester it really feels like. So today we got a high of 75 degrees and a low of 44. Sun rose today at 7 a.m. and is going to set about 6:10 p.m. 12 mile per hour winds throughout the day as well. Looking at tomorrow, as Lizzo would say, it's about damn time we see some winter weather here, folks. With a low of 39 degrees and a high of 66 with a 8 to 11 mile an hour winds. You might see 20 mile an hour gusts throughout the day tomorrow as well. Sun's going to rise at 7:01 a.m. and is going to set about 6:09. Let's take a look at our map of the state today. We'll look at other weather going over to Olympia and Seattle. Back to that typical weather on the west side, 72 degrees in Olympia as a high today and 68 as a high in Seattle. Partly cloudy with some sun mixed in. A chance of rain as well, but that's pretty normal here for the west side of Washington. Going over to Pullman as well, we got 75 degrees, like I said, the low of 44. Spokane is hazy with a high of 76 and a low of 45, so it's still kind of Still kind of summery-ish weather, but then in the Tri-Cities it says 80 degrees for and a low of 51. But there's actually been a lot of dust been blown around in the Tri-Cities lately, so that's going to be the biggest thing there. And then one more quick day, 82 in Yakima, a low of 46. That's pretty typical for right now, 82 degrees, as it has been very warm. And the 5-day forecast, 66 degrees tomorrow, a low of 39. And the rest of the week, from Wednesday to Saturday, in the low 70s and low 40s as well. Just for the rest of the 5 days. So back to you guys at the desk.
Aaron, thank you. It was a wild weekend in Cougar sports as volleyball, football, and soccer all took on ranked opponents.
That's right, Albert. It was a fun weekend. Stay with us on Murrow News 8.
On Saturday, USC bested the Cougs during the second half, resulting in a 30-14 final score of the game. Caleb Williams connected with Mario Williams for 2 touchdowns just before USC defense shut out the Cougars in the second half, holding us scoreless for the final 43 minutes. Following the game, WSU Jake Dickert said he was pleased with the momentum allotted by the Cougar defensive line, but later acknowledged that it just wasn't enough for them to come out on top. But we have lost, but running back Jalen Jenkins did win Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, so a little good news there. Sunday afternoon, WSU volleyball came out on the top on their match against Oregon in Bowler Gym. Pia Timmer tailed a match-high 11 kills, leading to the Cougs to a record of 16-3 against Pac-12 Northwest schools. This is Washington State's 7th sweep of the season and our 8th consecutive win in the all-time series against Oregon State. So overall, a very promising season so far from WSU volleyball. On Sunday afternoon, Stanford women's soccer beat the Cougs in the 28th minute with a through ball to Samantha Williams. WSU goalkeeper Nadia Cooper came up with a season-high 8 saves prior to the opening goal by Stanford in the 28th minute. The Cougs then continued a high-press approach, forcing Stanford to concede a corner kick in the 41st minute. However, in the last 15 minutes of play, it just was not enough. That's all I have for sports. Back to you all at the desk.
Jonah, thank you. Coming up, Halloween is right around the corner. We'll discuss our favorite Halloween costumes.
And some of the Murrow News 8 crew's best Halloween memories when we come back.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help.